Hello, and welcome to Own Your Becoming, a podcast about power, wisdom, and authenticity, where we talk lifestyle and the deeper journey of self love and midlife transformation. Perimenopause is such a tender, powerful, and sometimes downright challenging season of life. The hot flashes, the brain fog, the mood swings, the weight shifts. It can feel like your body is rewriting the rules every single day. And when your inner voice piles on with self-criticism, it doesn't just feel bad. It actually makes the stress and symptoms worse. So today, we're going to talk about a simple but powerful way to reduce stress in this season: changing how you talk to yourself. Let's start with stress. Stress isn't just having too much on your plate. It's your body's reaction to anything it perceives as a threat, whether that's rushing to meet a deadline, lying awake at 3 a.m. with your mind spinning, or walking into a messy kitchen after a long day. When you're stressed, your heart rate climbs, your shoulders tighten, your stomach can knot up. Your breathing becomes shallow, and mentally it can look like looping thoughts, irritability, or snapping at people you love. Behaviorally, maybe it's pouring that extra glass of wine, eating when you're not hungry, or collapsing on the couch with zero motivation. And sometimes you don't even notice it because stress has become your normal. Now, here's the tricky part. In perimenopause, stress is amplified. Back in your 30s, you might have been able to grit your teeth and push through. But in your 40s, those fluctuating hormones, especially estrogen and progesterone, remove a layer of buffering. That means your body feels stress more intensely than before. I'll give you an example from my own life. In my 30s, if the house was a mess, I could roll my eyes and deal with it later. But in my 40s, especially when it's mess created by someone else, I feel super irritated. It's like my threshold for stress is lower. And when cortisol, the main stress hormone, stays high, it shows up as weight gain, especially around the belly, more restless sleep, mood swings or anxiety, and even more intense hot flashes. So, managing stress isn't just about feeling calm. It's about protecting your energy, your metabolism, and your emotional balance in the season of life. And this is where your inner dialogue comes in. Psychologist Rachel Goldsmith-Turrell calls it the self-talk workout, and I love this because it really is like a workout for your brain and nervous system. When you're harsh and critical with yourself, your brain reacts as if you're under attack. The threat system fires up, cortisol rises, your heart rate goes up, your body is in survival mode. But when you practice self-kindness and encouragement, the soothing system kicks in. The parasympathetic nervous system slows your heart rate, oxytocin rises, cortisol lowers. Your body moves into safety mode. Over time, this actually rewires your brain so supportive words come more naturally than critical ones. Here are two of Turrell's favorite workouts, and these are also tools I guide my clients through in coaching sessions, helping them repattern their self-talk in a really embodied way. First, spot the success. At the end of the day, notice one thing that went well. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe you made yourself a nourishing breakfast. Maybe you paused and took a breath before reacting. Celebrating these little wins trains your brain to focus on progress, not flaws. Second, fail forward. Instead of saying, "Ugh, I blew it, I'm terrible," try instead, "Okay, What can I learn here? How can I use this next time? This shifts failure from something shameful to something useful, and that makes you more resilient when things don't go as planned, which, let's face it, happens a lot in this stage of life. Self-talk may sound simple, but in perimenopause, it's a form of medicine. When you soften that inner critic, you lower cortisol. That makes it easier to maintain a healthy weight, improve sleep, and stabilize your mood. And beyond the science, it just feels so much better to walk through the season with an inner ally instead of an inner enemy. And let me tell you, I get this on a personal level. For most of my life, I had a really strong inner critic. My judgments were harsh. My mantra was basically, suck it up. I never celebrated my wins. Who has time to stop and celebrate wins? There's so much more still to be done. Celebrating wins, that's for children. I don't need that. And the truth is, harshness does work in a way. It whips you into shape, it pushes you into action, but it comes with a price. And in midlife, I realized it was a price I couldn't afford anymore. During my 2 years of coaching training, I had to really flex the muscle of self-kindness because I knew I could not be a good coach if I couldn't even extend kindness toward myself. I started practicing celebrating small wins. I started noticing the times I was hard on myself and asking, what if there's an easier way, more pleasant way? And what I found is that it isn't just easier, it's actually more effective. Self-kindness gives me energy, harshness drains it. So if you're listening and recognizing yourself in my old patterns, I want you to know you're not alone, and you can change this too. Now, maybe you're thinking, okay, I know this makes sense, but still, I can't let go of that inner critic. It's too strong. That's usually because that part of you still needs to be acknowledged, and the emotions underneath need to be heard. You can't just bulldoze over it. So here's a little practice you can try next time that critic voice shows up. Pause for just a moment. Notice where you feel it in your body. And simply say to yourself, I hear you. That's it. No fixing, no arguing, just acknowledgement. You may be surprised at how much that softens that voice. And of course, sometimes these parts need more than just a quick acknowledgement. That's the work I do with my clients. I hold space for those parts, help you hear them, hold them with compassion, and gently guide you into new patterns of self-talk that actually stick. If you'd like support with this, I would be honored to walk beside you. You can find my contact info in the show notes below. Thank you for joining me today. If this spoke to you, share it with a friend who's walking a similar path, and be sure to follow so you don't miss what's next. Remember, perimenopause isn't a problem to fix. It's a rite of passage to rise into. Stay wise, stay wild, and keep rising. This is Wendy Wong. Until next time, keep owning your becoming.